Namaskar friends, welcome to the fifth video of Standard 11th Chapter 3, that is Plant Kingdom. In the previous video we have already discussed about algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, while in this video we are going to study about gymnosperms. So, welcome to the Vigyan with Vishal Mulya, welcome to Biology with Vishal Mulya, welcome. Dear friends, in this video we are going through the textbook. So we will have the exactly what textbook is saying about the gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are having open seeds, naked seeds, which is the term derived from the Greek word gymnos means open and sperma means seeds. Gymnosperms are the plant in which the ovules are not enclosed by ovary wall. So it is open, and that's why we are calling it gymnosperm, open seeded. In gymnosperms, the ovule are not enclosed by any ovary wall and will remain exposed even in the after fertilization condition, before fertilization also. That's why gymnosperm is the term. The seeds, that is the post fertilization development, seeds are not covered, means naked. We can see the example of angiosperm. Angio means covered. In the angiosperms we can see the fruit of apple having seed which is covered. You cannot touch the seeds of the apple without cutting the fruit wall. But here in the case of gymnosperms, the seeds are open, naked, and that's why gymnosperm is the term. It is including medium-sized tree as well as tall tree or shrubs also. Here you can see the series of certain tall trees, and certain trees are well known for their height. Gymnosperms is including medium size of tree or tall tree, shrubs, can be exemplified by cycas. One of the tree belongs to gymnosperm, that is giant redwood, and giant redwood is known for their height. One can see here it is the tallest tree species existing in the world, having Guinness Book World Record. One can see their width also here in the ground level, what can be the width, and can be relatively understand by presence of the people. Even in the when you cut it, when you make the cavity, you can see how much big size is there in the comparison to us. Coming to the point, their roots are taproot, so it is associated with the dicotyledon system, not the monocot, which is having fibrous root. Some of the genera are having root which is having association with fungi. So in case of pinus, you can see presence of mycorrhiza. You can see plant pinus here, and this pinus is having mycorrhiza. In some gymnosperms like cycas, there is a small specialized roots which is known as coralloid root, because it is looking like corals. Corals we are going to study in the next chapter. So this coralloid roots are exemplified in cycas, and one can see here cycas also. This mycorrhiza or coralloid roots are having association with nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria, so helping the plant in the fixation of huge amount of nitrogen. Regarding the stem part, stem can be unbranched or branched. Here the unbranched stem can be seen in the cycas. Likewise, branched stem can be seen in the pinus and cedrus here. Regarding leaves, leaves can be simple or compound. In the pinus you can see simple leaves, while in the case of cycas and palm you can find the compound. In case of sinus we can see it is pinnate, while in case of palm we can see it is palmate kind of leaf, that is compound leaf system we can see here. Cycas pinnate leaves persist for few years, and that is making very beautiful plant useful for the decoration purpose. The leaves in the gymnosperms are well adapted to the extreme condition like high temperature, high humidity, wind, and that's why in conifers there is a needle like leaves, which is helping in the reduction of the surface area. Even in the internal part, we can see in this section that there is presence of thick cuticle, and that thick cuticle is not allowing water to escape. That is the adaptation for water retention. Even one can see in the sectional view that there is a sunken stomata, and that sunken stomata is helping in the prevention of water loss. Gymnosperms are heterosporous, means it is having both kind of spore, microspore and macrospores. These spores are produced in the male cone and female cone, and that is haploid microspore and haploid megaspores are present there. Spores are produced in the sporangia, and that sporangia is borne on sporophyll, and sporophyll is arranged spirally along with the axis on the compact strobili or cone. These strobili are having microsporophyll and microsporangia. It is called microsporangiate strobili, or male cone can be can be termed. Microspores developed into male gametophyte, and male gametophyte is highly reduced and confined to only and only limited cells. Here we can see this reduced gametophyte is called pollen grain, and one can see the huge size pollen grain here. The development of pollen grain takes place within the microsporangia. So to simplify all this, let me understand microsporangiate or male cone is having microsporophyll. Microsporophyll is having microsporangium. Microsporangium is having microspore mother cell. Through the reductional division, it is giving rise to microspore. Microspore, otherwise we are knowing as a pollen, that is producing pollen tube, that is male gametophyte, and male gametophyte is ultimately giving rise to male gametes, that is taking part in the fertilization. Regarding chromosome number, to understand it in detail, male cone, microsporophyll, microsporangium and microspore mother cells are diploid. They are having double set of chromosome. Microspore mother cell is with the reductional division giving rise to microspores, that is pollen, that is haploid, and microspore is giving rise to male gametophyte, which is ultimately giving rise to male gametes. This male cone and female cone may be present on the same plant in the pinus, or it may be present on the different plant. Male cone and female cone on the different plant can be there in the cycas. The cone which is having megasporophyll with ovules are present on the megasporangiate or female cone, that is known as female cone. This megaspore is differentiated from the megaspore mother cell, and megaspore mother cell is differentiated from the single cell of nucellus. This nucellus is protected by envelope and having a composite structure which we are calling ovule, and this ovule are borne on the megasporophyll, and megasporophyll is clustered on the female cone, which can be seen here. Externally we can see the woody compact female cone here. The megaspore mother cell is giving rise to 4 megaspores through the meiotic division, through the reductional division, and out of that 4, 3 is degenerating, and only one megaspore is remaining in the megasporangium, that is nucellus, and ultimately giving rise to female gametophyte. Megaspore give rise to multicellular female gametophyte, which is having 2 or more archegonia, and this archegonia are ultimately a female gametophyte. This multicellular female gametophyte is remaining as it is in the megasporangium. So this gametophytes, like in the bryophyte and pteridophyte, here it is not free. So unlike in bryophyte and pteridophyte, in the gymnosperm, male and female gametophyte are not independent, are not free living. they are remaining or retaining within the sporophyte, in case of female sporophyte to be precise. So here we can see that it is remaining in the sporangia. So we can change the word and we can say cone is having sporophyll, sporophylls are having sporangium, sporangium is having spores, spores are having gametophyte, and gametophytes are having gametes. The pollen grain is released from the microsporangium. It is released, and this microsporangium is producing the pollen grain or microspores that is released with the help of air current. We are calling it pollination, and this pollen grain are coming in the contact with the opened ovules, or in the coming in the contact with the microsporophyll containing microsporangia. When the pollen is coming to there, the pollen tube is which is carrying the male gamete is growing toward the archegonia in the ovule, and male gametophyte is discharged through their content in the mouth of archegonia and releasing the male gamete for the fertilization process. Here you can see the entire fertilization process in the animation. After fertilization, zygote is developed into embryo, and embryo is further developed into seeds. We can see here seeds are there, but seeds are not having any covering. So seed is open, gymnosperms. So seeds are not covered. That is the identity of gymnosperms. Gymnosperms can be exemplified by pinus. Here you can see the photograph of pinus. Christmas tree, that is Orocaria. It is also a kind of gymnosperm. Cycas, one of the best example of gymnosperms found in our area. We are growing in for the ornamental purpose. And Thuja, which is one of the ornamental plant growing in gardens. So these are the example of gymnosperms, and this is all about the gymnosperms about within our textbook. In the next lecture we will go through angiosperms. Till that, thank you very much. Dhanyavad, Abhar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.